Welcome to the Enduro Method podcast. Joshua Rempel here with Dayne and Toney, and today we're talking about what is Enduro Method.
Yeah, so we're just taking this podcast to kind of answer the question of what is Enduro Method, how does it work, and all that jazz.
So, Enduro Method is an online strength conditioning program geared toward dirt bikers.
Yeah, so our goal is to empower people to have more fun on their bike. And we are doing that through providing a training and strength and conditioning platform for them to increase their fitness, increase their strength, increase their cardio, so that you can enjoy your time on the bike more, because it helps when you're fitter.
Yeah, we want to leverage the gym to be able to explore further and farther and longer outside on the dirt bike.
Exactly. We definitely believe that there's a little bit of a void as far as the fitness piece in the dirt biking world, and we're here to fill it.
Yeah, and just through our experience, there's a lot of different training modalities that are not to knocking them, they're great, but they also don't lead to as much carryover to the sport of dirt biking as what we're trying or accomplishing, right? What we're bringing to the table. So yeah, we just saw a big opportunity to really kind of share what we do personally training with a bigger audience. And yeah.
So how did Enduro Method get started?
Well, I and you, but both of us really, I think, kind of came to it similarly. Like, we know how much fitness helps us ride better, right? I've probably taken multiple spills that I'd be injured on if I wasn't as strong as I am, or actually also prevented spills that would have happened if I wasn't as strong as I am. Bikes are heavy. They're tall. I'm also tall, which helps. Long legs. But, it's been one of those crutches that's helped me get better quicker, I think, because I can be out there longer, suffer harder, all those things, and really have that physical capacity to fall back on, even though my skill's not there. So then I can just continue to work and build my skill up. And then, yeah, they kind of climb together.
Yeah, and a little bit of a background on us. We own a gym in Driggs, Idaho. It's actually called Target Athletics. It's mostly group class based. We also do personal training and individual program design and remote training through the gym. So we've had this gym. We started the gym in 2013. And so I have a degree in health and exercise science, handful of certifications, but we've basically just been immersed in this, owning a gym, training people, and that in that world now for 10 years plus. So we've both realized that we have a pretty large passion for dirt biking, and started racing a few years ago, and honestly, people were asking us, what should I do? Yeah. What should I do to get fit? And it's, we actually started writing programs for people remotely, just kind of how we did through the gym. And then, more and more people were inquiring about it that we rode with. And we thought, well, why not?
Actually, you know what? The night that I think the first time I spoke of this idea out loud was when we were in the hot springs in Baumgartner.
And
well, that's when I first came out. I'm like, we should actually start an online thing for dirt bikers. Like, there's nothing out there, and
oh, that's right. And we talked about it for like an hour while we pruned up in the hot tub.
Yeah. So that was the beginning of it. And then since then, we've been working on some programs. It was small at first, and then we've been just chipping away at building it out and getting going. Yeah.
So that's a little bit of the background behind Enduro Method and how it came to be. how does Enduro Method work?
Like, go online and purchase the program first, or
What do I do? I'm interested in Enduro Method.
check us out on our website, www.enduromethod.com. And then from there, so if you do choose to start Enduro Method and you purchase a subscription, which is just a monthly, comes out of your account every month, you will be put into Enduro Method group. Now, go ahead.
What's the platform? Like, what I'm online. I'm pretending like I don't know, but I do know. But like, sign up for what? What am I signing up for? Or like,
You're signing up for Enduro Method group subscription.
Okay.
So once you sign up and purchase a subscription, you download the app and you create your user account. Then once you're in there, you have access to a couple different options. So we have 2 tracks built out that run really close to each other. They only differ because one is a gym track, so you need access to basically a full gym. And then the other is a minimal to no equipment track, which you can do at home with very minimal equipment. Now, because you can load one heavier and one is a lighter option, basically some of the exercises are different, but the theme of the program runs together. That would also that's a calendar workouts. So those workouts are ongoing. They run continuous all year. And that track would kind of be what we would consider general physical preparedness.
Yeah, so to dive a little bit deeper, when you sign up, you have access to a platform. That platform can be delivered on your phone through an app, or you can access it through any web browser online. That is where we deliver the workouts, and when you sign up, you get access to what he's referring to as the tracks. Think of the tracks as like what's happening. It's live. This is the like current program. That's what we're doing right now. That's what Josh and I are doing right now. That's what, it's released every week. So, the workout of the week, if you will, it's the current up-to-date program that you're following. And there's 2 versions. You have the gravity version, which is the limited to no equipment. And then you have the operator version, which is for those who have access to equipment. And that could be having access to an actual gym where you go in to a gym facility, or even if you have a pretty decent gym outfit in your garage. We've got a handful of people that actually have a pretty decent
home gym.
Yeah. So that's how you access it. When you sign up, you do get a platform. In the platform, you also have exercise video demonstrations associated with all the movements. Now, this is not a follow-along video program like a lot of things that we're seeing in COVID. So this is not your Beachbody. This is not your Peloton. The workouts are written out, but say you don't know what a bird dog is. You can click that exercise, and then there's a minute or so video description. Some of them we talk through if there's a little bit more
nuance.
If we need to go into if we need to hit on a few cues, just, without having our eyes on you to ensure that you're paying attention to a few things when performing the movement, just to ensure you're doing it right. Just because you don't have the coach there, like we do in our actual physical gym. So you get the video demonstrations, and then there's also workout description, and maybe Josh, you can talk about that. Like up front, there's the intent for the day, and it's all written out.
Yeah, so at the top of each workout, there's a daily intent. So that just kind of helps you know where the emphasis is for the workout and each piece of the workout for that day, which can just kind of help guide, like, is this supposed to be a super intense day where I'm going all out 100%, or is this a day where I'm kind of backing that down a little bit and just kind of grinding through, right? Quality over quantity, stuff like that. So really tries to help so you can kind of understand what we're trying to accomplish with each day's workout.
Yeah, so you have a little bit of like intent. So when you sign up, you get that live program the one that we're following currently. And you also get access to 3 months of what we call on-ramp. So with the on-ramp program, it's a great way for somebody that's maybe off the couch, new to training, or hasn't trained in a long time, to kind of build up to where we currently are.
The live program.
Build up to the live program. So it's like building that foundation of strength and conditioning to set you up for success coming into the live program. And this would be basically based on you. If you're new, like I said, off the couch, haven't done anything in a while, we would suggest to start with the on-ramps. Now, if you've been training and you've signed up for Enduro Method because you maybe want to specify your training, change things up, or if like you want to get dirt bike specific, you have a little more intent behind your workouts, and you've been currently training, then you can hop right into the calendar workout. So it really depends on your background. If you know your way around a gym, hop right into the live stuff. If you are new, you have access to the on-ramps. And with the on-ramps, you also have 2 variations. There's the gravity version, so the version with limited to no equipment, and then you also have the operator version, so an on-ramp program for those who have access to equipment.
Yeah, and one quick note on those. The on-ramp programs are 3 days a week plus 1 bike skills day. So it's Monday, Wednesday, Friday, and you can arrange these days as needed too through the app if you need to, or your portal. But they're laid out for Monday, Wednesday, Friday for training with the Tuesday bike skills day. And then on the calendar live workouts or live track, we're going Monday, Tuesday, bike skills on Wednesday, Thursday, Friday for training. And our bike skills day, it's very exciting.
Let's dive into that. So we have, it sounds like 4 days, 3 to 4 days of physical training. That would be gym specific, and then there's 1 day a week where we're on the bike doing drills.
Correct.
Can you dive a little bit more into that?
Yes, and I'm excited about this day because it's one of those things that we explore constantly, is trying to seek out people who are better than us or that we can learn from. And so on the dirt biking side, the more clinics we go to or private sessions we pay for and go get taught, we can then bring that knowledge back and share it through Enduro Method. So the bike skills thing, something that's going to be constantly getting updated and improved upon as we continue to go. But it's basically just some drills that you can do at home. Some of the drills are live, so you're actually riding around a little bit, and maybe not everybody can do that. But there are also dead engine drills that you can do right in the garage. And if you stick with them and do them consistently, I know that's only programmed once a week, but even once a week, you will see improvement in a month. And then if you can do them, hey, maybe you do them twice a week. Do them on the weekends, or do them before you go ride, or do them when you get back to the truck. Just massive improvement.
Yeah, so can you give an example of what?
Static balance.
Okay,
it's one of those things, like, we've heard about this from the very first, we did it, when was that, when we did Shane Watts' thing?
Probably
15?
4 or 5 years ago.
2016 maybe?
Maybe 5 years ago.
What was the first drill that he had us do? It was ride super slow, try and come to a complete stop, don't put your foot down, and then restart, right? And he had like 2 cones marked off at 20 yards or whatever, and you tried to do it.
You can go.
Yeah, how slow? It was slow ride. It wasn't even static balance, so even a little bit easier. Fantastic. Why don't you go do that? Just set a clock for 10 minutes. But as soon as we can ride a trail or a track or a, sand dune or whatever, well, I'm not slow riding. I'm just, right? So,
taking it back to the fundamentals.
Taking it back. So static balance is one of those, I think it's a game changer, because the more you get comfortable not moving, the less you'll be falling down.
Yeah, and just balance. Like, you watch the really incredible riders, and they're so balanced on the bike. They're so comfortable. They're fluid. So just kind of having a skills day on the bike dedicated to improving the foundations specific to actually being on the bike.
Yeah, and static balance, I would have to say, it's one of those very frustrating ones. So there's a couple ways to help make it easier to give you a little more confidence, right? Or get you up on the pegs a little longer. Because honestly, if you're just in the garage on concrete, and we even got soft mooses in our bikes, and like you're up there for 2 seconds and you're down, and then you're pissed. And so it's like, just set your clock for 10 minutes and get your feet off the ground as much as possible during that 10 minutes and put the time in, and that's good enough, you know?
Mm-hmm. Something is better than nothing.
Absolutely.
So that's kind of like another neat thing that we've incorporated with Enduro Method is that the bike skills day.
Yeah, and that honestly going forward is one that I'm really looking forward to improving and putting out some really cool stuff that we learned that's super simple that is, yeah, it's game changer.
Yeah. So let's talk a little bit more in depth about the meat of the program other than the bike skills day. So you know a lot about energy systems. Can you describe that?
Yeah, we won't go super deep on this. This is one literally you could do basically a podcast about each one of these. But in general, with our programming, we're not terribly biased toward any one thing. I truly believe that the gym's a tool, and I'm not. I really like the idea of getting stronger, but at the end of the day, how much you squat, how much you deadlift, any of those numbers are not our major concern. You know, we want to get really strong, or strong enough, or relatively strong, right, for where you're at, while maintaining a leaner frame, not carrying muscle mass that you don't need to, any of that stuff. And then on top of that, we want a really big engine. So we want to be really capable in the aerobic and anaerobic world. And so for our programming, we typically kind of have 2 strength days per week, and then 1 day of more aerobic geared conditioning, and then 1 day that's a little bit more like aerobic threshold or even slightly anaerobic work. And with that, we really want to be able to shift. One of the things about energy systems is it's kind of a big gray area, right? There's no definitive there's lines that get crossed during training when you're shifting through them, but they're also always blending together. So it's not like you're always just using one system. So if you're just doing aerobic work, the other 2 more or less energy systems just shut off. That's not how it works. They're always working together. And so when the more you build one up, the others come up as well. Now, the one that's probably the most important for the sport of enduro, I think, is the aerobic system.
What is the aerobic system?
Long, slow distance, right? And we need to be able to go for a long time.
Also known to people as their cardio. Their endurance.
Yes, aerobic, road threshold, any of that stuff. Now, having said that, the bigger your aerobic system, the better, because it's one of those big base builders, right? And so the wider the base, the higher the pyramid, blah, blah, blah. But you also need to be able to go anaerobic, which is basically exercising without oxygen, more or less, and recover from that. Because think of, you're out riding, you're in 2 hours on a 4-hour ride, and then all of a sudden you get stuck halfway up this hill climb. And you got to pick your bike up. It's wet, slippery, whatever. By the time you get to the top of the hill, you're just whooped. Well, you still got 2 more hours of riding. So you've been in this anaerobic or this aerobic state, trucking along, doing pretty good. All of a sudden you get smacked in the face with this big anaerobic hit, pushing as hard as you can for 5-10 minutes, trying to get the bike up to the top of the hill, and you can barely get your leg over the bike. And now you got to be able to recover, get some of that back, and be able to continue riding. So that would be just kind of an instance how it works out on the bike, out on the trail. But we can really hit those things in the gym in a quick and efficient manner, and that's what we try and do. So real brief on the energy system stuff. You kind of got 3. You got your anaerobic alactic energy pathway, which you could think of that as like 0 to 15 seconds of fuel, so super fast. It'd be like a 100-meter sprint. right? We call that the Ignite system. The next one would be the anaerobic lactic energy pathway, which we refer to as a charge. Now this one's more like 25 to 30 seconds, and then upwards of 3 minutes, right? So it kind of kicks in around when the Ignite system falls off, your charge system, or your when your anaerobic alactic energy system falls off, then the lactic energy system kind of picks it back up, and you got like 3 to 4 minutes there, and that's topped out. This is also the really painful system that just sucks. Like
running a mile?
Shorter, harder, 800 meter, right? 1200 meter. Like it's very painful because it's just submaximal enough that you can hold on to it long enough, and yet you can't do it. You can't hold it for 5 minutes. So major lactate buildup. Muscles are on fire, like all that stuff. So this system is actually really quick to ramp up from a training perspective. Like you can do it in a 4 to 6 week block, and you can also, this is one of those systems that can lead to overtraining real quick because of the intensity and the duration. You don't want to spend a whole lot of time here. Like you definitely want to try and hit it even once a week, like consistently. But you don't need to spend 3 days, 4 days a week in that system. Like it's just too much volume. And then the last one would be what we call sustain, and that's our aerobic energy pathway. Now this system typically ramps up right around when the charge system's falling off, or your lactic system. And so anywhere from like 3 to 20 minutes, 3 minutes to 4 hours, 3 minutes to 24 hours, right? The aerobic system is definitely the most robust and has the best potential to last the longest, but from a power output, it's very submaximal. And so, again, that bleeds back into the thing. You need all three of these systems to be able to work simultaneously and together to be a well-rounded athlete or performer.
Yeah, and so Enduro Method takes all of that into an account, and we're just trying to optimize your time. So, like, our ideal client works a full-time job and doesn't have time to go work on their aerobic base 5 hours plus a day. Is that correct?
Well, I mean, look at it this way. For us, like, one of the major things is that if I could ride 4 hours a day, 5 days a week, I could hit all these things through intervals, through hill sprints, through long days on the bike and just chilling and working on skills.
So if I can't ride every day, like I don't have the time, I've got kids at home, I've got a full-time job.
This is a very efficient way to get your training done and improve while you can't be on the bike.
Right.
And then when you're on the bike, you can enjoy it more. You can go longer, go harder, practice more, all those things that we all want to do but can't. And so, you know, our workouts, we don't want to waste time. We're get it in, get it done. Everything's got a purpose. As far as the one thing we didn't touch on was our build work, which is kind of our strength work. And through that, I mean, it's a constant of everything. It's push, pull, upper body, lower body, core rotation work, anti-rotational work, everything that we think is going to be a benefit to riding. Grip work, shoulder mobility, hip, knee, all that stuff.
I would say like the strength element of it is more of like just creating a more robust human being, more durable.
Yeah, legs. You got to stand up.
And so another thing we didn't touch on is the one-on-one training. So this is all the subscription-based. So this is what you get when you sign up for $59 a month.
Yep. Get it all.
You get it all.
And so far, at least currently, until notice, everything we put out and contribute will be given to our subscription members in the group.
Yeah, so
like there's no extra cost.
So what we're working on right now, we have a 6-week pre-race program that we're working on.
Yep. So it'll be a 6-week build and taper to a race. So what that would look like would be if you're doing Enduro Method subscription, you're doing the calendar workouts, and you're like, hey, I got a race coming up in 6 weeks. You'd pop out of the calendar, change your plan, put that 6-week plan in. You would do that build and taper up to your race, win your race, tag us, and then you would just pop back in, take a day off or something, and then pop back into the calendar workouts and just pick back up with the whatever is happening at the time, right? Because that's the idea with the general physical preparedness idea, is that we're building this base that's just a constant level of fitness. And so that constant level of fitness allows me to then be like, I'm good with where I'm at and I'm just doing this race, or like, I actually want to really kind of put some focus on this. And so that would be, you'd be able to pop into that plan, do that, and then come back to the live stream. With this plan, it's going to be way more involved. It's going to have kind of bike call out hours, because it's kind of built with a race format in mind, somewhere around like a 4-hour hard enduro. And so
it's hard enduro specific?
Well, no, it could be an enduro of any kind. 4-hour race, I would say. A motocross would be different because of the timing, right? Those are like 20 minutes on, it would be a whole different thing, and I'd love to build one of those out at some point. But this would be more toward like a hare and hound, enduro, hard enduro, something along those lines. And so it has AM, PM workouts, a couple days a week. It's got bike hours or bike work specific called out, one interval day on the bike, one long ride on the weekend kind of thing. So it's got more bike specific training,
like
as well as
spending time on the bike.
Correct, as well as training in the gym or on a bike, a mountain pedal bike.
Okay, so going back to the one-on-one training, so that is another thing we do offer. Like I said, the subscription model is great for everyone. But we do also offer that one-on-one option that would allow you to maybe hone in on some specifics. Maybe if you're working around a specific injury, for example. So you've got some wrist thing that you need to work around, where you need a little bit more one-on-one program design, where we can design workouts specifically to work around that specific injury. Wrist, knee, back, whatever it is. We can also dive into nutrition. So if you need help with nutrition, when you sign up for the one-on-one, you definitely get access to us and that the help with the nutrition element of things. Which is
lifestyle,
yep,
that kind of stuff, trying to get it together, maybe.
But so yeah, we talked a lot about the subscription, which is great and would work for a lot of people. And then the one-on-one option is great if you want that individual attention, or say specifically, if you
very specific goals potentially.
If you had a very specific goal that you were going for and wanted just that individual attention to help you get there, like we can get very specific on our training and
right,
have that end goal as the entire training platform.
Yeah, let's say you want to go tackle Romaniacs.
Yeah, I mean, that's a great example.
Yeah, you're going to need a little bit more volume.
Yeah, we actually haven't done it, but from what we hear, it's, yeah. And we've got friends that have done it, and yeah, you're going to need a little bit more.
Yeah.
Another thing that we have on the back burner, we talked about the 6-week race prep training. Another thing we'd like to dive into is like working towards specific body parts. Like I suffer from some back injury stuff. I feel like a lot of people. So I've learned a lot as I try and not rehab because it's more prehab.
Yeah.
My back. So
well, I don't know actually too many people whose backs don't get tight riding. Like that's a very common, whether you have a back issue or not, it's still a very common thing. And there's definitely things where we can hone in on strengthening some of the core and into glutes and legs and adductors and all that stuff to help alleviate some of that.
Yeah, so so we're looking forward to releasing some specific things that address specific issues.
Yeah, and
to
also
help build and almost act as a like how we talk about the energy systems as a foundation to build up your musculature and support system in your body, like your core, your glutes, so all the things you were just mentioning, to help alleviate potential pain that you may be having or experiencing, and then also just to prevent furthering complications.
Yeah. I mean, one of the things I like to think about with that is like we're building fitness to use it, right? So like just because you were strong 2 months ago doesn't mean you're strong forever. Yeah, I'm not trying to have that sound like a bad way, but like you want to get to a point and then enjoy what you've built and use it, right? And so some of these things you might have to revisit every 6 months or every 3 months, right? Just to be tip top. Like I know for you, like you'll do some of that foundation training for a little while, get real consistent, back feels good, gets dialed in, and then in 2 months maybe you're like, shit, I need to come back to that and maybe do that again. And so there's a lot of these things that maybe you don't need to do them every day for the rest of your life, but you put some time in, get them built up, get out and enjoy it, use it. Maybe it comes back, maybe it doesn't, but then you can always come back. It's like a tool in your tool bag.
Exactly. So we're looking forward to doing more things like that, and just kind of addressing some specific issues that people have reached out to us about, some shoulders, knees, and then, pre-race. And like to get involved, maybe like a mountain bike one, where, you can dedicate a little bit more time with structured program regarding like adding the mountain bike into it. But anyways, so a lot of things on
and some of this stuff like we have done before we went live, I should say, with some of the clients I was working with. We did some mountain bike stuff. The hard part is just seasons, because for us, like we still have snow on the ground. Right. Like we still can't ride, whereas other people have been able to ride all year. And so it's hard to program that but it's always an option. Like on these aerobic days, if you don't have access to a rower or a ski erg, hop on a mountain bike. Go take that same intent of the session, the intervals or whatever, find a nice little hill or loop you can repeat. Boom, knock them out outside. There's nothing wrong with that.
Yeah. So have we talked about the most important physical attributes to enhance riding?
No.
What would those be?
We're probably going to differ on all these.
That's why Enduro Method's so great.
Yeah, I'd say it's between your ears. No, I think legs are a massive part. I mean,
hey, I agree with that.
You don't ride sitting down. You're not supposed to. I mean parts. I'm just kidding. But yeah, the more you can stand up, the better. And especially when you're out training.
Leg strength.
And because that improves body position, which then takes pressure off your hands, so you get less arm pump, less arm fatigue. The better your base, the better.
You mentioned between the ears. Can you dive into more of that, like the mental growth that comes from doing hard things, maybe?
Well, that's just it. I think you got to do hard things. So you got to do them in the gym, do them in the bike, do them everywhere. But doing training in the gym and that controlled environment is a huge confidence builder as well. So every time you finish something and you give it a solid effort, it's like another tick in the win box, and those add up. And the more you can do those constantly, the better off you are. And like, I don't know, the gym for me has been a massive part of building mental fitness, right? The idea of mental fitness, being mentally tough, all those things. It's massive carryover for sure.
Yeah. For those of you listening that have ridden dirt bikes, especially as a girl, I feel like there's an element of suffering that's inevitable. And being familiar with that suffering out on a trail or whatever your track, out on a dirt bike, having experienced that in the gym, you're like, okay, I know what this is. I know this place. I've been here before. I've trained for this. I got this.
Yeah.
So, I think the between the ears is such a huge thing with the sport. I think that can change your riding, not only from the gym, but what your skills as a rider. Committing to things, being confident on the bike and going for it sometimes.
Yeah, and it builds discipline. It builds everything. I mean, don't let yourself off the hook. If you say you're going to go out in the backyard and do, I don't know, you're going to static balance for 1 minute straight.
1 minute?
Yeah.
1 minute straight. I was like...
Yeah. Don't stop when you get to 45 seconds. Like, you didn't make it. Finish it.
Discipline.
Real quick, some of the myths around training in general. I love the I just get too big too quick myth. It's just not real. It's not possible.
But I'm really susceptible to getting bulky.
Yeah, exactly. I mean, people dedicate their life to getting bigger, and there's a certain amount of muscle mass that you can put on per year by like eating in the right excess amount of calories, which takes dedication, getting the right amount of sleep every night, which takes dedication, lifting hard specifically to get bigger, which takes a lot of dedication, and you're still putting on like 10 pounds of lean muscle mass a year maybe. I mean, I don't know, don't maybe quote me on that, but it's not like I worked out yesterday and now I don't fit in my shirt. I'm sorry. So it's nonsense. So stop.
I'm about to bust out of this jacket.
Yeah, just stop. If you do Enduro Method for 6 months and you want a refund because you're too jacked, come at me.
Let us know. We'll give you a refund. What about muscle mass decreases your endurance?
At some level, yes, I would agree that it could probably take away from your endurance performance. But again, see above question, and then the amount of muscle mass that you would have to gain for it to become a detriment is excessive. Like, I don't want to go back to CrossFit too much, but look at the CrossFit Games athletes who are pretty jacked, phenomenally strong, and their endurance is off the chain. So, and that's like Rich Froning and Katrina David's daughter and stuff, like elite of the elite, and they're pretty jacked. They don't have a problem. I mean, what did Fraser run a sub, 5.5 minute mile, I think? And he's deadlifting 550 pounds, close to 6, squatting close to 5. So it's how you train, right? So if you are carrying a large amount of muscle mass and not training in a way that's going to help increase your blood flow and your aerobic abilities and anaerobically, you're probably going to suffer from that. And I think that's where a lot of these ideals come from, and just bro science. I mean, it's just ingrained.
What about the myth that I'm just going to ride to get in shape?
I don't want to say that's entirely a myth. Where, to me, it falls short is, so if you're a professional rider, your life is centered around you riding, right? And then you're also probably doing strength training on the, not quite on the side, but cross training or gym training as well, but part of your program, right? Now, the problem that I run into where I hear this is like when you can only ride on the weekends. So what are you going to do the other 5 days of the week? Nothing? Why not train? I know it's not on the bike.
Why not dedicate 1 hour every day during those 5 days?
Yeah, 100%. You're going to make massive improvements. So then when you do get on your bike.
So I can be a better weekend warrior.
For sure. Yeah, you can get on your bike. You can ride longer, which then promotes more time, more seat time. You can ride harder.
Bigger smiles.
Harder terrain, more skills, right? I mean, yeah, it just makes complete sense.
I just really don't have the time, Josh.
Bullshit.
That one's tough. Like, I mean, we now own 2 businesses. We have this passion for dirt biking. I understand. I get it. I need like 5 more. No, I need 10 more hours in every day. But I feel like a lot of people can relate to this. So it's just setting your priorities and making it a habit. So making it a priority and then getting in the routine of doing it, I think is crucial. I mean, I'm also of the mindset of practice what you preach, so I'm kind of trapped in that realm. But if you want to do it, you can do it, and that relates to anything. That doesn't even have to be fitness. If you want to do it, go for it. If there's something in your way, figure out what that thing is in the way and weigh your options on whether it's worth it or not, and get it out of the way if it's there and it doesn't need to be.
Yeah, I think if it's something that you really want to do and pursue, take a serious look at where your time is spent, and you might be amazed. You might be able to pick up an hour, even 2 a day, to get it in. Yeah, if it's important.
All right, well, we just fully did a 40-minute podcast on what is Enduro Method. We were thinking that this was going to be 20 minutes, so if you made it this far, you rock. And hopefully this was valuable, not only just, answering the question, what is Enduro Method, but, if you're training or whatever, like giving a little more context to or emphasizing what you currently do. And if there's anything we can do to help, what we do and why we do it, and
hopefully, and
how we do it. Maybe if this was so clear or not. So thanks for listening. Josh, do you have any last words you want to add?
Yeah, if you're interested in not doing a subscription but purchasing one-off plans that you have access to as long as you have the app or download on a desktop, keep us in mind and keep looking at what we're putting out, because we will be doing some of that stuff. And you can purchase those plans like a one-off thing instead of signing up for a subscription. But if you are currently in the subscription, all of these things as they come out we'll be putting into the group, so you'll have access to them.
Yeah, the subscription is definitely the golden ticket.
Yeah, for sure.
That's where that's definitely the best bang for your buck. If you're listening and you currently subscribe, thank you. And we're really stoked to see all the results. We've got a handful of people racing out there right now, and we've seen incredible gains and are excited to be a part of this community. We've also sponsored the AMA Extreme Championships.
West Coast Series.
Well, there's East and West.
I know. We're kind of on the West.
Well, yeah, we'll be participating in the West ones. So we'll be at Donner and we'll be at Silver Mountain, but we are sponsoring that series because we'll be there. But we're really excited about that, really excited about the growth of the sport and to be a part of it and everything that's coming of it. We couldn't be more thrilled, and we hope we can bring value to this sport. And like I said in the beginning, our goal and our mission is to empower people to have more fun on their bikes.
Yeah.
So that's what we're here for.
Yeah. So thanks everybody for the support, and come say hi if you're out and about at the races or we see you out on the trail.
Yep. And we'll keep doing the podcast and create more content, and we'll catch you next time.